Next live, man.
Shout out Up Next Live.
Shout out Up Next Live.
Gang, it's the big step of the well-known flexer here with Up Next Live, man.
Into Up Next Live, your girl Brittany, Elyse, my dog DJ MK. Shout out to Martell for making that statement with us today. We got a special guest in the building. Shout out my girl Bia.
You already know what's tea.
Now, Bia, you listen. We gonna talk about a whole lot of money, but you've been doing a whole lot of movement. So I'm not gonna jump too far back. We're gonna do that later, but I wanna jump back to April of last year. It seems like from April of last year to now, you have done a lot of stuff. You've dropped 5 singles, a project, videos, and we said before we did this, we wanted to give you your flowers because you are the first American rapper to have an NHL remix at the playoffs. That's not even that, you female rapper at that.
Anybody who's ever been Black or Latino at that, like, so.
Right, like you just look, she making a statement. You see what I did there?
Right.
She making a statement. What does it feel like to have that happen to you? To have that, because NHL is not it's not like an urban sport. It's not a female sport. And the only thing I know Black in NHL is the puck. So I want to know, how does it feel to have that happen to you?
I mean, it's like, I always tell my friends and the people around me, this is like that moment in my life where hard work meets preparation. You know what I'm saying? So timing meets preparation. So it just felt like everything that's happening is for a reason. Like, we always carry a higher message with everything we do. And we're just grateful, bro. Like, we are so grateful. I'm so grateful to even be that person to do that, you know, and to bring rap culture to, you know, hockey culture where it's like really non-existent. Right. And, you know, and to be a woman and, you know, a brown-skinned woman at that. So that just makes me feel honored. And I'm just glad that they let me do that. That's just dope.
Now, you're from Boston. Do you have a favorite hockey team?
Yes, the Bruins, of course, because Boston's like a real heavy sports city. So like whenever we ride for all our teams, like everybody.
Right. Now, look, I'm going with the Toronto Maple Leafs. I have my share of hockey jerseys. I don't watch. I like the fashion myself.
Okay. You get a pass.
But so as we were preparing for this, MK and I talked about how the pandemic was not really it was a pandemic, but for you, it seemed like it was more of a pandemic because it just seems like you began dropping just so much music from when you started off with Cover Girl. Then you went to Same Hands, Skate. So it was just like, and then you dropped your project For Certain in December. So was that all planned out for you for the year, or did it just seem like things were just happening?
Like I said, I definitely have been working for so long. Like, I had an abundance of music and, you know, I had been working with my friends at the time. So we were just recording every day at the time. So when we had Best on Earth, I had already had that project ready to go. But, you know, For Certain. But then, you know, with the quarantine, I had to release music in a different way because the whole industry was changing and the music business was changing. And then, you know, there was no shows. And it's like, how can you really work records if you can't go out to the clubs, you can't go out and do shows? So it was a hard time, but I think that was a test for the music because I'm just grateful that the music was able to like push through that time with me and still shine, you know what I'm saying? Without the things that people had, like, you know, I was in LA and LA was shut down completely. So it wasn't like I could go to the club and work records and things like that. So it was really the people did that. And that hits different for me, so.
I think that in your like scenario, just watching it, that's what seems so dope is that it's like where more people kind of weren't able to be as visible, you became more visible than you probably ever have been, especially online, especially with streaming. I mean, I seen your Spotify, just your Spotify, bro. Them numbers is hot.
Thank you. I've been working for, like I said, such a long time. So this is really like, I appreciate everybody that's listening. Like, it's really different for me because I didn't have this love the whole time. So I've always been super humble my whole career. And like, it's just different to see like everybody coming around. And I'm like, well, like, you know, I've been the same person, but I've been making the same music, well, just better. But I'm just glad, you know, better late than never, if you ask me.
I seen somewhere where you said, like, when you were in high school and you tell people, like, I'm gonna be a rapper, and they'd be like, oh, my brother rap better than you, my cousin rap better than you, and then that made you hit beast mode. Can you explain to people, like, what was your beast mode moment? Like, what does that mean to you?
My beast mode moment is like when you really don't have nobody rooting for you, when you just feel like, you know, nobody believes in you, or maybe like one or two people, and you have it in your heart, you got to prove those people right and everybody else wrong. And, you know, I think especially when I came out my first deal, my first situation, like, you know, I loved everybody that I had came out, you know, I loved my old situation, like everybody as family, you know, but I had a fire under me because I wanted to show the world, like, you know, these people were right for believing in me and everybody else was wrong for not. And, you know, I gotta prove everybody wrong. That's when you gotta like make people believers. You stop taking it personal and you start looking at it like, okay, you know, maybe it's a reason why they don't really like my music. Maybe it don't really relate to them. Maybe I got to go back to the drawing board. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So you out here giving testimonies and a word.
I feel like we already got some great clips to clip out.
Right, me too.
Just to share some gems with the people. Now, you were talking about, like you were saying, you've had such a journey from being a part of so many dope situations up until now, really just like really having your time, you know, everything aligning well and the music coming out and being received well. What are some lessons that you can share just on the business side that you've learned up until this point?
I always love like questions like this because I feel like nobody really talks about this side of the music, and this is the most important side for the artist, because the decisions you make early on in your career can either affect your trajectory in a negative way. And, you know, I was blessed enough to get a second chance, but a lot of other artists don't. You know, they get shelved and then they never come back. So it's like, know the business. Like, at the end of the day, this is a business. And even though we love making music and we probably are all somewhat good at it, is like a whole nother side of things that you'll miss your shot almost, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, and you won't even know you missing your shot because you just don't know what's going on, you know what I'm saying? And nobody takes the time to educate people on that. So I definitely, I've grown into a businesswoman, and I love Epic for that because they allow me to be a businesswoman. Sylvia Rohn is a businesswoman, and, you know, she's CEO of Epic. So it's like, you know, you gotta align with people that have the same vision as you, and they understand what you're trying to do, your goals later on, not just now.
Look, as you talking, I'm like, that's a clip. Because people, you're right.
The correct team is so important.
But you're right, and people, sometimes I feel like artists get into the industry and they don't know what to do, but they're so willing to do anything because they're hungry, because they want it, and then they end up down a wrong path. And like you said, some people might not get that second chance. So I love to be able to put out information like this to other people so that it's something that they can learn from.
That's why I mentor so many new artists, and I'm so honest with them about that side of things. And, you know, they look to me like, I got so many artists that call me and they like, you know, what's this mean in this contract? Or should I sign this? Is this dumb? Or, like, you know what I'm saying? They always ask me things like that. Cause I like to be that person that I didn't have sometimes, who, you know what I'm saying? And like, I had people like that later on, like Russ is one of those people for me. I could call Russ and be like, what does this mean? Is this normal? And he'll be like, that shit, ask for this instead. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's you gotta have those people.
That comes with experience, like experience of things going real bad and real good, and figuring out really what works. So that's all.
You said it.
Now, speaking of Russ, how did it feel when you woke up and see that Rihanna had helped that song to go viral? Like, for me, I think I would have just laid in bed and said, "Is this real? Did this happen to me?"
I definitely cried. I had a moment. I prayed. I cried, and because I love her so much. So I was like, oh my God, like, I was just, if there was one person that you'd want to do that for me, it was her, you know? So that was just real as hell for me. And You know, it was just different, man. She's like, she's been supporting me for a while too. Like she's been following me for a while, and she'll like comment under a post or something like that, you know, and she's like openly shown support for me. So, but that was like a different level. And I think she made it cool for other people to like listen to me. You know what I'm saying? Like there was a lot of people that was like, I don't really like her music. I don't really for her. And she made it cool. And people were like, actually, let me give it a chance. Because if Rihanna likes it, it might be good. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she got a song in there.
Well, what I want to do is I want to manifest Rihanna and be a collab coming in the future. I want to manifest that because I believe that would just, whoo,
That's a lot of girl power.
Right. That might just do it for me.
I want to manifest that too, because like I always say, like I love tones and like voices, and her tone is nobody like it. She got her own, like it's just yeah, you know what I'm saying? She just got
it's so timeless.
And you feel it, right? You feel it. You feel everything from it.
Yeah, well, I would love to perform her.
Well, I want to hop into Whole Lot of Money. So how did that song come about? What was the inspiration behind it? How did we get here today with it?
So my friend London J, he's super talented writer. He had like this stencil for a Whole Lot of Money. Beat Gods, T Romano. They had this stencil, like it's a whole lot of money, but it was kind of like a dude's version almost, like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it just felt like manly. So like I got it and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make this my own. Like, you know, I put in my little, like, I put on my jewelry just to go to the bodega, like that, you know, we just made it a new song. And it was just like, it just came out and it felt special to me. It was the last song that I added on my project. And everybody's like, you sure you want to add this? And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. I love the song. Like, I want to add it, you know? And I'm so glad I did, because like, look what happens, you know, it's you got to work with people. I always tell people, when you're in the studio, you got to make songs with people that know who you are as a person and as an artist. And like, I don't go around working with everybody. Like, I don't make music with everybody. I don't take records from a lot of people. I write like 95 to 98% of everything that I put out. So, you know, it's a different, I collab with people that the vibe in the studio feels like I'm with my friends. And that's how it translates on the records, you know?
That's dope. It's funny because when I searched the hashtag for a Whole Lot of Money, just seeing what people post on the TikTok and everything, the funny thing is, when you put out like it's like a female anthem, you know what I mean? A lot of women are singing it. But the funny thing is, there's a lot of dudes making videos too. So I thought it was gonna be like heavy on like the female like TikTok like anthem type of vibe, but it's a lot of dudes making videos to it too. So it clearly hit.
I love that. I love making music that could go to both girls and guys. Cause you know, a lot of guys, they already have like a stigma against female rappers where they're like, I don't want to listen to female rap. It's annoying, whatever. So I love proving them wrong. Like, that's my whole thing. Prove them wrong. Make them a believer and just, you know, change their mind.
Overall, what would you say your project For Certain, what does that mean to you? Overall, what did that project do for you? What chapter of your life was that?
That was the chapter of my life that I felt I was the most authentic, my most authentic self. Like, I was for certain about everything. When I say that title, For Certain, that's what I meant. Like, I was certain about everything. Like, you couldn't tell me nothing about myself that I didn't already know, or what I'm trying to do. Like, completely locked in, know who I am, know what I'm trying to do, what my goals is, what my message is, what I stand for, what I'm not standing for. You know, like, that was what that project meant to me. And coming out of the situation I came out of, it just felt like it needed to be something like that, you know? Like, it needed to hold a higher meaning. And, you know, like, when they see it or when they hear it, they know that's me. And that's just what it is. Like, it can't be duplicated. It can't be replicated. It's just, that's Bia, you know?
It's funny when you say that, because it takes me back to a time when MK and I interviewed Joey Badass, and we asked him about one of his projects, and he said that album was for me. He was like, it was for me. I did that for myself because I needed to know for myself that I could do it, and it was all for me. And when you gave your answer, it reminded me of that moment when he said that, and it just brought it full circle for me. Like, and it also brings it full circle. And I think in some of our conversations that MK and I have just about our business and even this podcast, it's like, you got to do things for you. Even when you said, I don't work with everybody, and that's okay. It's okay. You don't have to work with it. I need to work with who aligns with me and my brand. See, girl, we getting a lot of gems today.
I like
yes, you got to work with who aligns with you and your message. Like, you know, like you can't, not everybody is like, energy's so powerful, you know what I'm saying? And you can't really put, even people's thoughts, their energy will affect your moves. Like, you know, you got to protect what you got going on. So it's like, I can't align my energy with anything that don't feel right, you know, or I can't do anything that don't feel right because it doesn't serve my happiness. And 10 years from now, I can't blame my, you know, unhappiness on you or him or her. I'm going to only be able to blame it on me. And I'm not going to blame it on me. I'm not going to be mad in 10 years. I'm going to be happy because I'm going to do what I have to do today to be happy tomorrow.
It definitely seems like you know what that would be. Like, it feels like, you know, like, this isn't going to work for me. This will work for me. Like, it definitely feels like you're very confident in that space. Where you at with that? Now, you know, we got to ask you, because this is like our signature question of what we got going on. I know we tapping in with you. The single's going crazy. So I know just more great things are to come. But, you know, we have to ask, you know, what is up next for you? What do you have coming up next?
So I really want to get into like the business space a little bit more. Like, I'm starting the line. I'm dipping into like the makeup space. I want to chart. So like, really, I'm going to focus on, you know, shooting some videos, shooting a lot of singles, a couple more songs that might feel like, you know, a whole lot of money or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got some really good songs are coming out that I'm really excited about for people to see. I'm also trying to get a little bit more into the philanthropy space because I visited Puerto Rico and I was just like, wow, I really want to be here more. I really want to, you know, dedicate resources and help. And it's just like, you know, I feel like as you get blessed more, you should help more. So it's like, I'm just feeling it. Like, I'm just like, I want to help people more and just, you know, let God work through me this year and, you know, focus on my family and just, you know, knocking down goals, really.
I love that.
I love that.
I love all of that.
Well, we want to thank you for sitting with us today, you know, dropping these gems. You know, whenever you come to Orlando, right now we in the club. We shoot out of Beacham Nightclub. So whenever you are in Orlando, we're going to bring you to the Beacham stage, let the people get a whole lot of money.
I love Orlando. Orlando, y'all, like, let me tell y'all, I really love. So I cannot wait till everything opens up back up. Please let me know when it's ready. I want to come to the club.
Child, we open. We got Boosie and Webby tonight.
Yeah, we in Florida. We ready to go.
So tell them people, call my people. I'm trying to come to Orlando.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Don't worry.
We're going to save this video. We got proof. She said she want to come.
We calling Mr. Marshall right now.
When people start calling you,
Please
phone,
do.
you know it's us.
Love that, and God bless. I can't wait to see y'all. I appreciate all the support, and I hope y'all have a blessed day.